welcome back to Rotten Rambling On, the show that tells you how it is. Or, something like that. Once again, this is an adult podcast. There will be adult language. Shawn may say something really offensive, derogatory, and sexist. Maybe all in one sitting. I'm hopeful. Again, I'm Jake.
I'm Shawn.
And today we're going to do something a little different. It's kind of out of our usual realm. But we're actually going to be speaking about a book that which was inspired by a miniseries and later on to be a radio show. You've probably heard of this writer before. I'm sure it's come up a little in conversation. If not, you're really dull and need to start reading more.
Let's be honest. It's not that far off of our wheelhouse. The man started in comics.
Yeah, this is true. So it's right in the fiefdom of geekdom. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to keep that one.
That was great,
The fiefdom of geekdom.
I suppose we probably better get the name out there, huh?
Absolutely. But the gentleman in question we were speaking of is Londoner's own Neil Gaiman.
The terror that quacks in the night.
Neil Gaiman, who of course has brought us writing from since, 92 with Sandman?
Sandman.
And what's so funny is no one has anything bad to say about his writing. They don't say, oh, it's too dark, oh, it's too moody, it's too this. It's not that stereotypical Stephen King nonsense where you get about the middle of his book range, you go, yeah, I really think he was flagging here. I've never heard anything bad yet.
No, actually, it didn't start out with Sandman.
Yeah, no.
In 87, he was writing for Judge Dredd.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, of course, that would be a UK affiliation before anything else. Before coming over to doing the States work.
Exactly. Which the man is British.
Stealing writing from British. Us hard-working American writers.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy my writing at Rotten Reels. God, I can't even say it. Rotten Reels Reviews at blogspot.com. What we're directly associated with. Tee-hee.
Which is the opposite of the sort of highbrow writing that we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I sadly, I probably fit in the dick and fart joke category. But I occasionally have a prolific thought versus a profane thought.
Though I am going to go a little off of the rails here, and I am going to applaud the fact that just recently you reviewed Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Yes, I did.
A variation from your usual schlock horror and or plus.
I do actually like to enjoy film. Yeah. I don't just simply watch the first stink nugget that comes my way.
So this is not masochistic flogging.
No. It's just occasionally I just simply get something really obscure, bizarre, going, yeah, you want to avoid this like the plague. Treat this as the Black Death. But no, I had a blast watching Sky Captain because, again, it's nice throwback to like the 1930s serials. Yeah. It had a real tone of Max Fletcher's Superman with the giant killer robots.
Absolutely.
And, on all intents and purposes, I don't see why this flags so badly. It just must not be something that appealing.
Well, and you know what people rarely give it credit for? It is... what the word I'm looking for? The vanguard of the green-screened... set.
When you think about it, it's really diesel punk.
Yeah.
When you go past Steam.
The whole filming, there were no actual sets.
Yeah, and you also have to establish there's like hundreds of digital animators, artists, composers, and you're going, oh my god, you guys had to bust balls to literally recreate New York. There were scenes in New York, but the scenes getting trashed and whatnot weren't even there.
Yeah. Long before Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Long before... did it come out before Matrix?
No, this came out in 2004.
Okay, you're right.
But yeah, that's the whole basis where you're going, this was a real credit to its work.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably the first time where I saw an almost all CGI movie going, this isn't bad.
Yeah. Where you weren't like watching Spider-Man going, where's the real actor? What the fuck is this shit?
That was so painful. But now that we've rambled on, getting back to our main topic in question, in 1996, Neil Gaiman was contracted to write a miniseries. That was supposed to be kind of a dark take on,
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it really does have that vibe of it, but based solely in London. So he looked at the aspect of the people that are forgotten, those people have fallen from grace, and what fact, all these folks in the streets, where do they go? Where do they live? How do they live?
Produced for BBC Two, by the way, for all of you Anglophiles out there.
Yes, Channel 2, once again, not screwing up. Oh, by the way, still love the Sweeney, and I don't want to see the remake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know you want to see
Okay, I'll watch the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I got hooked. That didn't take long at all.
No. All right, I caved. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Right, hold on, let me get the rubber.
Okay, if they can't bring the same level that John Thau did, I really don't want to watch it.
Let's be honest. You're going to get the rubber tube out, tight around the forearm, and sit down in front of the TV.
All right, back that arm a few times.
All right,
there we go.
I don't care how dirty the junk is. Shoot it up.
That could get dark. The whole basis in question, this is centered around a character named Richard Mayhew, who lives a pretty, what would you call a humdrum, ordinary life in London.
He's your Arthur Dent.
Yeah, he really is an artist. Yeah. So one day he encounters a girl named Dor who falls injured in front of him. Next thing you know, his life goes completely 180. He's pulled in this bizarre world of London below. Yeah. He's pursued by two characters by the name of Krupp and Vandemar.
Yeah.
Dor and Richard, with the help of additional characters, Hunter and the Marquis de Carabas, which, by the way, is very difficult to pronounce.
And also, you know where the herald's from, don't you?
That's true.
It's from the Puss in Boots.
Yes, that is actually the Puss in Boots mentor.
Yeah, it's the
There's
Marquis
a lot
de Carabas.
of early Victorian writing references.
Well, and Neil Gaiman is big on that. He loves to take from... I mean, if you look at any of the issues of Sandman, he loves to take from fairy tale.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He loves to take from mythology.
He takes from mythology, fairy tales, Edwardian and Victorian writing.
Well, and I thought...
Which are going, oh, that's good. He's an appreciative of the classics.
Absolutely. And I thought the naming of the character was actually spot on, because the Marquis de Carabas in the Puss in Boots fairy tale is the fake name he gives to the miller's son.
That's true.
To make him seem like he's fit to marry this princess. And the Marquis de Carabas in the Neverwhere
is a trickster, a convenster, backstabber.
Well, Puss in Boots is a fairy tale representation of the mythic trickster totem.
Yeah, this is true.
Loki,
and of course, a lot of people make
Coyote.
References to it being translated close to Zorro as well. And I'm going, well, they're adaptations, so you could argue that indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
But getting back on track, as we are rambling yet again, the whole basis of the quest is they must find the Angel Islington in order to find out the secret of the murder behind Dor's family, and possibly get Richard back to London above.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's so funny about this is the rare occasion, like we mentioned before, where the miniseries came before the book.
Yeah.
He was contracted to do that.
It seems to be a British standard. I mean,
yeah,
the same
it really
was
does.
with Douglas Adams.
Right?
Long before Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy became a book.
Douglas Adams was writing for Tom Baker's era.
Yeah, of The Who.
And
by the way,
he was contracted to come up with a radio show.
Oh.
A 12-part radio show.
It occurs to me I should probably say, when we say The Who, we mean the Doctor, not the band.
Yes.
So.
That is actually pertinent to state, too.
Who are also British.
Yes. But and not aging nearly as well either.
No, not. Well, let's be honest. Tom Baker's not.
Tom Baker's in his 90s, so I think we could let him slide.
Well, Tom Baker wasn't pretty in his 30s either,
yeah.
So.
Well, that's just an unjust.
All right, sorry.
I'm not even going to offer you a jelly baby. That was just rude. But no, on the basis of such, like I say, Douglas Adams wrote that radio show while working on Doctor Who. And I'm going, could you ask for a better gig?
Right.
I get to work for BBC 4 and BBC 2.
Well, it's no different
from Channel 2 radio.
Wasn't Douglas Adams writing material for Monty Python at the time that he was coming up
I think he was considered as such, and he did some of the skits.
Yeah.
So, the man already had a background in doing comedy.
Yeah.
And, these might be construed as both iconic.
Yeah. So, it kind of sets a precedent
for
it really
does.
writers in that time period.
What's so funny is the director in question for the miniseries has had a pretty substantial connection with Channel 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like Telltale, Screen One, Perfect State, Bloomin' Marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
I love the name of that. The Vicar Dibley. That was kind of out there.
I love the Vicar.
That is kind of out there. It's a little for everyone.
Yeah.
But what was so funny is, of course, they had to cut back on some of the dialogue and some of the ideas. Like, you couldn't shoot in Harrods in London. And so they had to sell for like a marquee.
Yeah.
And, the corner there, Neil's been just writing his book. He's like, that's fine. I'll just put it in the novel.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people are not aware of the miniseries unless they are, I guess, UK affiliates or enthusiasts.
Aficionados.
It's like if you don't endeavor in some sort of the British festivities, you're confused. And what's so funny though is I just loved his comments he had as I'm watching the special edition or the special features.
Yeah,
he was talking about how he felt so guilty and never thought about this until he had to witness all these actors and all these crew members down in London Underground in what was it, like the middle of October. It's already cold.
England,
it's stone. It's mortar.
Yes.
It's mud, and you have these fighting sequences in the mud. The poor little gal Tanya Moody, who's playing Hunter, has next to no outfit. Let's be honest. This is Red Sonja territory. She barely is wearing anything. She's having a fight with the one of the Black Friars. Ends up breaking a spear over his head. Just cracking this poor guy in the coconut.
Oh, actually, it occurs to me. We should throw it out there. Speaking of Anglophiles, here in Omaha, British Fest starting June.
Yep. Early June.
Go online, find out, attend.
BritishFest.com, folks. Yep. It's some fun stuff. You'll see elaborate costumes. I mean, some of these guys do some amazing work just for the simple factor. My personal favorite, my buddy Moose, did the TARDIS console.
Oh, yeah.
Think roughly about Patrick Troughton's era, but with the trappings of Tom Baker. So you'll see the coat rack with a hat and the scarf hanging off of it. It's just these like little touches with the umbrella stand next to it.
People go all out for this. I mean, I even know people that are busy quickly growing facial hair as fast as
I don't know what you're speaking of.
To pull off a costume.
Okay, all right, folks, I'm going to let it be honest. I am such a who nut that I absolutely loved John Hurt playing the War Doctor.
Yeah.
I have the look with the exception of, well, the beard's not going to take any real effort. I just have to groom and maintain that. The only thing I need to do is build a bandolier.
And the fun thing is, at your age now, you don't have to color it. You can just let it grow in gray.
No, actually, it takes forever. It actually goes white. It actually goes like these little wisps of white. Yeah. It's hilarious. Meanwhile, I've got people going, "You're not that age." I got a haircut yesterday. Then I wanted to go buy smokes. Big mistake. Should have bought them first, then got the haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids looking at the counter and going, looking at the ID, looking at me, looking at the ID again. Yeah, so that was fun.
You don't look like a Kuthrapali kid.
Oh, ouch. But no, what was so funny is he described this, Neil Gaiman described this whole aspect. He didn't take into account just what a cruel and evil bastard he is to all his characters. It doesn't enter your head when you're doing comic format. When you're doing the comic Bible, it doesn't enter your head that, I put this character through blood and anguish and just other anguish.
Yeah.
But he gets to see it physically, and he feels like a complete bastard. And I'm going, well, it's going to happen.
Are you saying he follows the Whedon Bible?
Yeah, very close to it. It's like,
the best way to make drama is to let your characters get close to happy, and then
you whisk it away from them. You club them over the head like you would a baby seal, and you take away the joy.
Which, if you ever watch any of the Buffy DVDs, watch the little interviews in the special features between them on the series, and you will literally see an interview with Joss Whedon describing his philosophy for drama is to let your characters become happy, and then yank it away from them.
So, did you find out who did the audiobook? Because after 96, after 96, when the novel was released on an international bestseller level, this is, I can only hope I can duplicate in the effect. Now, obviously, I don't want to translate his stuff. Their terminologies and spelling errors. I'm sorry, I meant they're the Queen's English. My apologies. We live amongst the bastardized English. Of course, at the same time, I've never heard this across the room. You want a cup of tea?
Which, interestingly enough, the audiobooks read by the author.
So Neil Gaiman actually wrote them.
He actually
read them.
He read.
Yes, he wrote and read them. Yeah. Can't tell I haven't slept well.
Yes, no. The
caffeine does not equate sleep.
Yeah, no, the audiobooks produced by, oh gosh, I don't remember who.
Got enough BBC Books.
Oh, was it BBC
yeah,
Books?
Yeah,
okay.
they have a really tight-knit orientation.
Yeah.
You should see how they were kind of hesitant to let J.K. Rowling to allow the American version.
A little socialist there, aren't they?
A little, yeah. I don't blame them, though. Let's look what they've ensconced over the years.
The People's Republic of Media Production, the BBC television, BBC radio,
but as
BBC
I'm standing,
books.
They started with the books.
Yeah.
This has been a print publication since Edwardian times. You know, when they start carving into wood and you know, using blood to fill in for ink. You know, this was well after Londinium, you see. Yeah.
No, which I think, if I remember right, he's actually narrated most of his audiobooks.
I'm just trying to envision half of my friends over across the pond just go, little fucker. He does this every time. At least he's not doing Cockney.
And then he's like, do we really sound like that? No.
No, we don't. I don't stand a bit of it, love.
But no, I mean, he narrates most of his audiobooks. Coraline. The children's book.
Yeah, that's true.
Questionably a children's book.
Very pleasant voice, though.
Oh, yeah.
The man's soft-spoken. The guy does in interviews, and he's extremely soft-spoken.
Oh, yeah.
He's not quite an introvert, but he's slowly moving into Peter Sellers territory.
I was going to say, if you ever see the man in public, he looks like a British version of...
Shawn.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he does look like a British version of Shawn with the curly hair.
The first Batman,
Michael
Nightmare
Caine?
Before Christmas.
Michael Keaton? Or are we referencing Tim Burton?
Tim Burton, thank you. The man looks like a British Tim
Yeah,
Burton.
there is a lot of similarities.
With the hair.
Oh, yeah.
And the
you know, I recall your hair being like that in high school.
Oh, God. Let's not go back to high school.
Tim?
For any number of reasons. Let's not go back to high school.
Oh, Shawn, just admit that we both had mullets and move on. That's right. I will repeat that. Mullet. Oh. There are only two white guys to pull off the mullet. And no one said shit. And on left, they both played Colonel O'Neill.
That's true.
That's right. MacGyver's own Richard Dean Anderson and Kurt Russell.
But, you know, in all honesty, the man doesn't need our accolades. I think it's worth noting the man has Hugos, Nebula Awards, Bram Stoker Awards.
God, doesn't he also have a Asimov Award, too?
Yeah, Asimov. He's got Newbery and a Carnegie Medal.
Good God. What, is he going to get knighted, too?
Yep.
Do you actually see that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You can see him getting a night ship for...
Has he been knighted already? No, I don't think he's been knighted already. But, I mean, no. The Graveyard Book, which came out in 2008, actually won both the Carnegie Medal and the Newbery.
God.
At the same time.
We might want to go into explaining that aspect for the Carnegie and the Newbery.
Oh, well,
these are one of the highest rewards that I believe Britain can bestow for literature.
Annually recognizes it's for, now I'll be honest, it's for children and young adult novels.
And that's not uncommon.
But you know what? That's the big thing nowadays. Have you noticed?
Let's go as far back as Winnie the Pooh and realize just how much children novels can capture
the adult imagination.
Yeah, if we don't like children novels, well, guess what, folks? You need to go into your library, find every Dr. Seuss book, and just burn it because you don't give a shit.
If you don't like,
because you're a Nazi.
If you don't like children and young adult novels, then don't go to the movies nowadays because that's all that dominates it.
Or comic books.
Hunger Games, young adult novel. Twilight, young adult novel.
Well, I didn't want to go to Twilight.
What is the one with the chick that has virtual dreams? Insurgents X.
I have no idea. I'm old.
No idea. Anyway,
I don't have a kid, so there you go.
Another one. Well, no, these are movies that adults are going to. These are the popular movies.
Oh,
nowadays.
You mean 50 Shades of Grey?
Yes, young adult novel.
Yes. Yeah. God. Okay. So anyone that's actually lived that lifestyle, like just a little,
it pisses all over them.
A little BDSM, they're going, that's not BDSM.
No,
that's a rich bastard whipping and beating the crap out of this skinny little white girl, and mistaking that for somehow love.
Yeah. No, you want a good representation. You go and watch The Secretary.
Really, I thought you'd just watch gore. Isn't that where it all originated?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you people back to that horrible book series.
James Spader? Yes, James Spader from The Secretary and...
that one girl.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen it.
I blanked.
I haven't seen it, actually.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
Yep. James
Yeah.
Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Ah.
You should watch the movie.
No, that means I might have to see her nude with that face. Yeah.
Just the scene.
I'm sorry, she looks like her brother with tits.
And not even good ones either.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. I know we're being
Wow,
a little sexist
we
here.
got sexist.
Yeah, we got
fast
really
on that.
sexist here at 20 minutes there. Yeah,
We're
I know.
good. Somehow we got from the Carnegie Medal to talking about Maggie.
Well, it's kind of our
Gyllenhaal's
shtick,
tits.
isn't
Yeah.
it? So we had Maggie Gyllenhaal bend over this coffee table. Just give it a riz.
But yeah, no, it's.
And I did say riz.
Yeah, the Carnegie Medal, one of UK's oldest and most prestigious book awards
It's-
for children's writing.
Yeah, by any standing, any writer that receives this,
Yeah.
you have been put to the echelon. You are moved up there with Dickens at that point. You should feel immensely proud. And if
Yeah.
you don't, you're a twat. Like,
You have-
they can't give you any more than that. What do you want, gold?
At that point, you're fucking UA Bull.
Right? Yeah, no, you're
Well, not actually fucking
nobody's
UA
that
Bull.
arrogant. Well, that's not true.
There's one man
I've heard a
that-
few directors of such.
We know one man that's at.
Like
that's
Quentin
that arrogant.
Tarantino.
UA Bull. But-
And Quentin Tarantino. God, I
Quentin
still
Tarantino.
loved his little piss rant. Yeah, just to get off subject real quick,
Yeah.
I loved his whole piss rant about the Star Wars film dominating the Chinese theater. He was losing his proverbial shit over the fact that they
yeah.
overbooked it. Like, oh, but we're in a contract. It's like, yeah, but we'll yank this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This blockbuster movie that all the family's
Yeah.
going to go to. So wipe that little Tarantino crap out of the way and take our movie from both screens. So yeah, honestly, in all intents and purposes, as predominantly known as an indie director, I did
Yeah.
feel bad for him. The same instance, screaming "fuck you, Disney." Kind of. I mean, it's not like they're ever gonna hire him anyway. That was never gonna be in the bag.
yeah, no.
Oh
no.
yes, the guy that wrote that Dead in Storage. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I won't even say that word.
Oh, God.
Say someone's mom's a cock juggling thunder cunt, but I will not say that infamous N word. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. Gotta have standards, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. What were we talking about again?
I think it was Neil Gaiman's
Yeah.
Neverwhere.
And the prestigious award. Anyway, awards. You won a lot. Let's move on. So
no,
back to the source.
What I found amusing,
Yeah.
I think you do this nice direct correlation. So we'll play a quick little game of Do you know your UK?
Uh-huh.
On one instance, the Angel Islington of the miniseries is portrayed by Peter Capaldi. Which, if you'd seen his
know.
earlier works, you'd have gone, yeah, I'm a fucking angel. You got a fucking problem with that? I'll knock you the fuck out, son. That's all that's popping in my head.
And later on in life, the man wielded a sonic screwdriver.
Exactly. Now, it gets better. In the radio drama,
Is
the
that a
2013
Yeah.
is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. So
Yeah.
you have two gents that may have worked with Stephen Moffat at some point in their career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought that little tidbit was funny. But yeah, you see, Neil Gaiman had the best description for this.
Yeah.
So he asked, "What looks so amazing on film, but is unbelievably inexpensive?"
Mm-hmm.
And this lighting coordinator was going, "Yeah, I guess I got just the thing for it. It's called a non-reflective cloth.
Yeah.
So you look at it; it's just this hideous, dull gray. You put lights in front of it. Doesn't matter if it's candlelight,
Yeah.
floodlights. It gives off this almost radiant aura. It's the same cloth they use for Richard Donner's Superman.
Oh, okay.
So, well, you saw Marlon Brando
Yeah.
dressed up like that. Yes, Carol, my son. Oh, I'm going to give you an offer you can't refuse.
I bet
But it's that same reflective cloth, only because of the lighting and being shot at 35 millimeter. Now, if it was shot on 35 millimeter HD, it'd look a little goofy.
Yeah.
But with the standard film stock, it looks astounding. Gives this almost Christ-like aura,
Oh, yeah.
radiating off
that you
your
would
character.
expect from an angel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now he had this conversation like 15 years prior to ever doing Neverwhere, and it just stuck with him. He was at a
Yeah.
convention.
Oh.
He was still writing for Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And the lighting director was just telling him about it. He goes, "Oh yeah, it's a great thing. You should." Yeah. He was like, "If you ever need it,
Yeah.
use it. Use it. It's the most inexpensive effect you'll ever make." And what I thought was so funny is
Yes.
what was it? His friend that cut the scenes on his iMac.
Yeah.
What was hilarious is they dropped like $100,000. Sorry, that about 100,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So ranging somewhere to about, 300K? 325K? Something like that?
You know, I don't know what.
Yeah, it expands better.
I don't know what the conversion
it looks
was
better
back
on
in '96.
It looks better on our end than it does
Yeah.
theirs. Shockingly enough, that's pretty much how the pound and the dollar always have been.
Yeah.
Though, go look at history and just look at the increments. It really hasn't swayed much. But music enough, yeah, they drop close to like 100 G's just creating this great visual effects program.
Yeah.
And it looks like crap.
Well,
Meanwhile,
it's a TV
his buddy
yeah.
cuts this on an iMac.
Yeah.
And they're blown away. And half of that digital graphics software probably cost him somewhere maybe $250
Yeah.
to $300
Off the shelf.
Off the shelf.
Yeah.
And that was just him being creative, taking clips of what was already filmed,
Yeah.
creating some kind of bizarre color base and twisting some of the film and making it a spiral standing, and then interspersing it with the composer's music. And you're just sitting there going, and you couldn't have told them that ahead of time. Okay.
Which the composer Brian Eno.
Oh,
correct?
God, right?
Yeah.
And, gee, there's a guy who may have possibly have had a music career.
Oh, yeah. No, big into experimental music techniques,
Right.
which you'll definitely notice when you listen to the soundtrack of Neverwhere, the television series.
Honestly, again, folks, this is really good stuff. You will note by watching this miniseries, was a 6-parter, and reading the book, you'll see very little has actually been removed.
Yeah.
There are certain, obviously, practical aspects they couldn't do. Heralds, for example, would not allow them to shoot. I can't imagine why when you have a bunch of what looks like grubby sewer dwellers roaming about.
Well,
yes, by all means, bring the entire Morlocks in here.
And you know what the hilarious thing about it is? I mean, Brian Eno, if you go back, you're talking about a man that started out in Roxy music in the glam rock 1970s British.
Yeah, he actually worked alongside Gary Glitter.
He was a synthesizer
before
player.
Gary went, crackers and child happy.
And then later you
child
find
crazy.
Later you find him moving into.
I'm doing composers for BBC. He's done film for some of the Jim Henson productions.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're just sitting there going, wow, it's so funny to see where the humble beginnings. It's kind of similar to, what was a good example of that? Oh, God, now I'm having a Shawn moment. Oingo Boingo frontman.
Yeah.
Composer for Batman.
Nope, completely lost.
Army of Darkness.
I know who you're talking about, and I cannot for the life of me pull the name out
folks,
of
if
my
I actually remember, I'll put it in the... Actually, you know what? Do me a favor. Drop it in the comments.
Yep.
I can't remember the composer of Batman. Yeah, 1989 Batman. Yeah, this is sad. Because that was, well, all intents and purposes, our Batman.
Yeah.
Before he had nipples put all over his costume.
Oh, Prince.
No. That's the artist, sir.
Formerly known as.
Damn it.
Once again,
I
known
really
as.
can't remember.
Yeah, no, I can't. It was an amazing
And usually
score.
Oingo Boingo is the first one that kicks in.
And it was an amazing score, too. That's the thing.
Yeah, the thing is, I really preferred it when they played I Like Little Girls, They Make Me Feel So Good. That was a great touch. By the way, if you happen to be dating someone younger and you play that, it's going to piss them off.
Yeah.
Just a little thought for you guys. You're dating a little younger and you don't play that song. Also, avoid the Cure song if you perhaps more mature ladies have a May-December standing. Yeah. Boys Don't Cry.
I feel like there's
Skip that.
I feel like there's a police reference in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What were we talking about again?
Was that one thing with that one guy?
That guy. We were talking about Sandman. So, the comic Sandman.
Speaking of which,
2017.
2017. Looks like they're actually finally getting in development. They may do it, and it goes as far back as Matthew's Dreamscape.
Really?
They're talking about it's at the very least, it's in discussion. Now, I know in Hollywood, that means fuck all. We'll talk about it. We'll see what we can do.
At no point, though, are we going to enter into the, who was the American soldier guy that stood in for Sandman, went insane? There was that whole
You can't see it, but I'm making an odd face.
You're giving me the sideways puppy dog look, yeah. No.
You're referring to like Wesley Dodd, the like Golden Age Sandman.
The Golden Age Sandman that stood in for Sandman.
Oh, right, because he actually had the dreams.
The two demons that stepped in
Cain
and propped him up.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah, that propped him up as the fucking real Sandman while Sandman was out on sabbatical.
Yep, that's right.
Let's please not go into that section of the
canon. No. I think in actuality
was...
they're probably going to go as closer to his writing base before that.
Because that part was fucking awful.
It was kind of painful.
Yeah.
Of course, anyone that's directly correlated with Sandman of Golden Age kind of got screwed. I mean, his poor sidekick, cruelly known as Sandy the Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Which was just a play on his name, which was Sanderson Hawkins.
Yeah.
Becomes a silicone life form.
Yeah.
Due to a failed experiment with his silicone gun. Like, why are you making a sand gun? Do you have a sand plane? Do you have a sand car? Is this a sandmobile? Did you people have an original fucking idea?
You park out in the desert and you're like, where did I park the sand?
Oh, wait, I got it. It's actually comprised of silicates.
Yeah.
So with his willpower, he just makes a sand buggy out of pure granules.
That would be a literal dune buggy?
Yes, it would.
Really?
And there'd be sandworms.
Is it?
No, he in fact travels on sandworms because, as we all know, the spice must flow. And for those of you who got the Dune reference, God bless you. You made us feel a little younger. Or, note that there are old people out there like us, too.
Which, interestingly enough, a nice segue back into the new radio version of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, because as we all know, the Sci-Fi Channel recreation of Dune.
Oh, that's right. Was it McAvoy in that?
James McAvoy.
Yes. Also, I meant Professor Xavier there. The one with hair.
Did an excellent job of voicing Richard Mayhew for the BBC.
Honestly, it was one of the more intriguing
4.
aspects. You had Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. God, stunning.
She's kind of a dish. I won't lie.
Stunning fucking woman.
Okay, I don't think I would have got quite that far, but yeah, she's a little dish. Music enough. We have two characters which I feel do not get enough love from critics: Mr. Coop and Mr. Vendabar. Both of these incarnations are absolutely enjoyable. When you have Lionel Bennett, Mr. Coop is the more talkative of this pair of assassins. He's actually kind of verbose and kind of pompous at the same time, and has this obsession with antiquities. More specifically, very fine pottery of
Tang Dynasty.
of Tang Dynasty, of Chinese Tang Dynasty.
Which, interestingly enough, he doesn't collect.
No, he will devour it.
He eats them.
But it was just going on about the craftsmanship, the quality, the basis of these ceramic glazes pre-existing anything that was done in England at the time.
And you know what that touches on. It touches on the old primeval belief, the same reason why warriors would eat the hearts of the warriors they defeated in
order to gain their strength.
Yeah, it was the whole idea of literally ingesting something of magnificence and power, imbued that on you.
I'd rather put that up on my shelf, to be honest. Yeah. I'm like, I have a piece of Tang Dynasty. Holy shit, I'm safe.
And also in the original radio series and later in the novel, it's always pointed out these two characters are not described as human.
Yeah, in all intents and purposes, they appear human, but you realize behind those eyes are some really ancient evil. And the description of destroying Troy.
Yeah.
This should give you a good hint right there.
And that's one thing to take away. Neverwhere is a place outside of time and space.
Yeah, kind of similar to, actually, Simon R. Green's Neverwhere. Nightside.
Neverwhere? Really?
His Nightside series. Where you have copious amount of creatures, species, different timelines. So in some aspect, it's kind of similar, except he made it a little more condensed.
Yes.
Gaiman made it more condensed. Simon R. Green, who was also a phenomenal writer, go look him up. Good stuff. But that's standing. Gaiman actually made his a little more condensed, while Green's was just out there.
Yeah.
It's just like a bright neon sign going, hey, pay attention. But no, the music aspect of that, and of course, I love that Vanderbar is just this tall, gangly, I wouldn't say dull-witted, but kind of a little slow in some aspects, and just delights himself in his murders.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell that he gets off on a lot of torture.
Well, and
just the term peepers and tallywaggers are going, oh, I know what that means.
Yeah.
Swap balls and eyes. Like,
yeah.
oh.
Oh, yeah, they are crude, actually. And you surprise yourself. It's surprising a little bit when the miniseries came out that they would have dialogue like that.
I know, but there's certain elements of that are so funny. Watching him do the golf swing, hitting live toads, or him just chucking his blades at whatever creature.
Well, and it does a great job, and it really drives the point home at the very end of the miniseries or the book or the radio drama. Regardless,
no too many spoilers.
That Vandemar is not his own person.
Yeah.
He is not.
He's really just kind of subservient.
He's just an extension of Mr. Krupp, really.
It's almost like he is, perhaps, in my belief, I always thought he was just like a figment of Krupp's imagination that manifested flesh.
A way that Krupp could express his really
like his more
violent,
morose and darker side.
Yeah. But and one could argue they represent different aspects of the psyche as well.
Oh, yeah. You could throw Freud in there if you really must. I'd rather you didn't.
He is
there it is.
Played by Clive Russell.
Yeah. Now, what's so funny is David Schofield, who has, dear God, this man has voiced everything from Winnie the Pooh to Watership Down, and these, of course, are all the radio shows.
Watership Down.
These, of course, are all the radio shows as well as some of the television.
Yeah.
So I'm just here expecting to go, oh, Bother, I've taken your peepers and your tattywigs. So that portion just made me laugh.
Yeah.
But of course, Mr. Krupp in the radio show is Anthony Stewart Head. And any of you Buffy fans out there know immediately we are speaking of none other than Rupert Ripper Giles.
Honestly, if you say Anthony Stewart Head and anyone that listens to this podcast does not already know who we're talking about, find a different podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, also skip Will Wheaton's Bypass the Nerdist. I'm sure there's at least two. There's probably a podcast called Two Ignorant Crackers Setting Fire to Their Balls. Which, now that I think about it, you could probably sell that.
I think
it's two crackers cooking nuts.
Wasn't that Redneck Rampage?
No, but I think it might have been associated with the zombie movie I had to sit through.
I mean, the man did Buffy. The man was on
Merlin.
Percy Jackson.
Oh, yes.
Merlin. Yeah. Repo, the genetic opera.
God, that is a whole level of twisted. But what can you expect from the creators of Saw?
Right.
Though, that being said,
actually fairly
some really gorgeous singing.
Yeah.
Some gorgeous operatic moments.
Warehouse 13.
I even actually didn't have a problem with Paris Hilton singing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a kind of a. I wouldn't say it's.
I
wouldn't say it's a dusky voice, but that sense of like Kathleen Turner or Lauren Bacall. But she's actually got kind of a deep, husky voice. I guess would be more. It wasn't sultry by any standing, but I was kind of impressed. I go, okay, if you actually gave her some decent lessons, she might actually do all right singing.
Wasn't Anthony Stewart Head actually in one of the Doctor Who movies too?
No, I don't believe so. But I do know that he was in for about 10 minutes in that godforsaken Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Was it worth it, Tony? Was it? I'll not do anything a cage.
All right.
As he came up, started waggling his head at you.
I couldn't be bothered to look it up for the. I couldn't be bothered to look it up for the Batman composer, but I will look it up for Anthony Stewart Head. Yeah. Yes, he was actually. It was the TV series, not the movie. 2006. He was in School Reunion. Oh,
yes, he was.
Yeah.
Because you have that brought back to it as Elizabeth Sladen, portraying, once again, Sarah Jane Smith. You're going, God, it's like she never left. It's like that same level of energy, that same little naivete. And she's got a little seasoning to her in that standing.
Oh, my fucking God. I did not realize this. I used to watch this terrible BBC series back in the day called Monarch of the Glen.
Oh God, you saw that too?
He was a reoccurring character in season 6 of Monarch of the Glen.
Kind of a bastard, actually.
Chester Grant. Oh, son of a bitch.
Now, while you're on that computer, this is killing me.
Okay,
please find the damn.
All right, we'll look it up.
Tom. God, I can't remember. My brain's shot. Yeah, folks, just skip it.
We're not gonna lie.
Skip it in the comments. It's okay. We'll look it up. No, what I actually found amusing is this astounding vocal cast. Old Bailey is played by Bernard Cribbins, which anyone across the pond can throw a rock at one of his projects. The man's been working in comedy, drama, and just endeavors that, including a little bit of science fiction. And, I think he may have showed up in that Doctor Who show, possibly.
No, I don't think so.
Alongside that Tennant guy. Oh, David Tennant, love him so much. Oh, he's the only doctor for me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, he's pretty. It's okay. Doesn't? He's pretty. He's funny. He's witty. He's urbane.
There is nothing pretty about David Tennant. I mean, have you heard the man talk?
Well, he is Scottish, so you got to allow certain allowances.
And as we established, Scots are the scum of the fucking universe.
No, actually, Ewan McGregor stipulated this.
That's true.
Who also, in fact, is Scottish, and yet you'll note pretty.
Is a very pretty man.
Yeah. So let's look at 3 Scottish actors that fall into that category of pronounced vocal pattern and pretty. Let's see, Sean Connery.
He's not. No, Sean Connery is not Scottish. He's fucking Egyptian.
Oh, that's true.
Remember?
My apologies. My apologies. I forgot. That's right. Christopher Lambert is Scottish, who just happens to sound kind of a Euro-French, New Jersey accent muddle.
He embodied everything of Euro trash at the time.
I know,
he
right?
Really did.
I was honestly convinced as a child that's what Scotsmen sounded like, having no idea. There was, in fact, a Scotsman sitting in the boat.
Danny fucking Elfman. How can we not remember that
thank
name?
You. God, thank you.
The man's done
because I'm thinking 20 projects.
Yeah, the man
he's done
every musical score from 1990 to current.
Yeah, all you can do is every bat orientation.
Well, no, I mean literally.
I could not think of Danny Elfman.
I can't think of a movie that doesn't list Danny Elfman in the fucking composer credits. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name.
Yeah, on that side note, now that you refresh my memory on who his name was, Danny Elfman only did the March of the Dead in Army of Darkness, and people were pissed about that. I'm going, folks, this is kind of like a family crew.
Yeah.
So all the rest of the score, that's going to Joseph DeLuca, who we affectionately know as Joe.
Yeah.
Because Joe has been there since the beginning.
What was it?
So go fuck yourself.
I mean, he did the fucking Simpsons.
Yeah.
TV series score.
I know. This is sad.
The video game Fable.
Hey, on the bright side, we both just completely blanked on Danny Elfman. Maybe he just doesn't have a nice shape as, say, his sister. I don't know.
God, why did I not remember that name? Okay.
I know, that is actually kind of funny.
I'm sorry. I mean, he did the fucking Tales for the Crypt soundtrack.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of bizarre.
Oh, gosh. Okay, sorry.
Of course, my personal favorite of the just the radio show that was just an absolute orgasmic delight to hear that man's voice yet again was they got Sir Christopher Lee to voice the Earl of Earl's Court, and immediately I recognized the voice. Problem is, I have my headset on, so Dracula's voice is now in my ears. Yeah, I grew up on Love and the Hammer films. That was part of my VHS era. My parents grew up watching those in the theater.
Wait, are you talking about the Wizard played Dracula?
Yeah, the Wizard. Okay. Yeah, eat a dick. Big hearty bag of
I love that scene where he stood on the stone bridge and he's like, "You shall not pass."
No, I was referencing the Wizard that slapped him around like a little rag doll.
No, I know. Christopher Lee is not. Yeah.
Oh, seriously.
Sorry,
how could you not?
How
could you not be feeling a little disturbed? This man stands at 6'5" for one.
Oh yeah.
I felt so sorry for because you think about it. You go as far back as 57 when they did the first Dracula together. Peter Cushing stands 5'9".
Yeah.
To 6'5".
Yeah.
My God, my pants would be so full of fluids. It's not even funny. I wouldn't even know at this point. I'm like, we ran out of poop. We're moving on to blood.
Yeah.
I'm trying to extract bone marrow to fill in. I got nothing left.
When Christopher Lee was young, oh my God.
What an imposing figure.
Stunning, yeah.
Man, an imposing figure, had this eloquent voice.
That frigging hawk nose.
Yeah, the hawkish. Can you understand? This man has now played. Think about it. This man has played Dracula, Sherlock Holmes, a Sith Lord.
Yep.
Just sitting there going, it's like, my God, where does it end? Oh yeah, and Saruman.
Which it's hilarious though. When you look at the radio cast, I mean. McAvoy. I'm getting the name wrong.
No, it's McAvoy.
Yeah. Pretty man. The girl that played Dor,
Yeah, a dish.
Stunning.
Or stunning, as you established. Benedict Cumberbatch, well, we've heard panties evaporate by this man's presence. Which is weird.
They don't just evaporate, they implode.
He kind of falls in the category of classically handsome. He doesn't look... from my standpoint as being a straight guy, I don't look at him and going, yeah, that man gets a lot of ass. It's just a simple factor of, oh yeah, no, he's got a lean build, but at the same time, it's not over. He doesn't look like he's auditioning for Masters of the Universe, and at the same time, it's still kind of an imposing figure.
It works, and I'm not gonna lie. While people will crap all over Star Trek, what was it?
Into the Darkness.
Into the Darkness.
By the way, that still needs a semicolon. Should be Star Trek. Colon.
Yeah.
Into the Darkness. Otherwise, it just sounds like a run-on sentence.
The man was believable in that fight scene where he beat an entire army of Klingons.
Was it like 50 Klingons?
Yeah. And a fucking spaceship. The man, on the ground, beat a fucking spaceship.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
I'm like...
okay.
That's like if you're fucking Rambo and you took down an F-14... with a bow and arrow. I mean, that's...
probably has been done.
Yeah, probably actually has been done.
Oh, no, but he did blow away a high-end helicopter with a law rocket.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's still a lighter... It's still a lighter explosive by definition.
And I'm going to get her name wrong, and I apologize for this. Sophie Okonedo? Okonedo?
It's Okonedo.
Okonedo?
Yeah, you actually had it right the first time, so... Yeah.
Delightfully pretty. Voiced
Another
Hunter.
dish.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think it's her bone structure or jawline that just kind of I found captivating.
And I mean, come on, Anthony Stewart Head.
Oh, come on.
Any woman that ever watched...
man could read the phone book. I'm down for it. It's like hearing anything Ricardo Montalban had to say.
Any of your female friends that ever watched the Buffy series and saw that episode where he sat up there and sang Behind Blue Eyes?
Or just him coming out in his robe. I heard a lot of... Oh, God.
Oh, God.
The fanfic alone. I just went, okay, enough.
Stop it.
I feel so sorry for these actors.
I especially like the one where him and Xander made out in that particular fan fiction. Yeah, that was
some really disturbing stuff.
But then you get to
and only that cat would bring that up.
And I mean, even Christopher Lee.
A staple in both horror, science fiction, drama.
But I mean, he's still he's a good-looking man.
Well, not quite so much now, given that he's passed on.
But then you get to the man that voiced the Marquis de Carabas. David Harewood, who you will recognize as John Jones in the new Supergirl TV series.
I thought that was hilarious, right? Because you look at this guy going, dude.
The man has a face for radio.
Yeah, I know it sounds so harsh, but you're going, God dang, that's a whole lot of head coming at me.
And those ears. But still. But no, we just...
So kind of like, he's kind of like Christopher Eccleston, but not as pretty.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Christopher Eccleston's actually kind of a handsome guy. Oh, yeah. What was so funny is he had done the life... he did basis on the Beatles and more of John and Paul as the story arc went. And God, you saw him in the wig and the little round glasses. Yeah. It is fucking eerie.
Yeah.
And he did that at age 53 when Lennon was in his 30s.
Yeah.
You're going, wow. Well, one thing indicates Lennon didn't age well.
Well, you know, Lennon's life choices as we went.
You mean other than Yoko? Oh
no! Actually, I'm just thinking of Yoko as what made him look the way he did.
I love that whole aspect. Yeah, folks, I know many years later, and nobody really gives a shit on how the Beatles broke up, but I'm going to break it very simple. It's four friends that drifted apart.
Yeah.
Yoko really isn't to blame, but yeah, I've actually heard some of her, quote, alternative / experimental. It kind of sounds like what you would get if you put Alan Parsons' project on tripping balls on acid. And it sounds like a screeching howler monkey and some synthesizer.
I was going to say, it's what happens if you ask a banshee from Irish folklore to come on stage and
shrill.
You know, just maybe knock one out improvisationally with you. But no, the BBC Radio 4 cast producing Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to it, go to the BBC Radio website, bbc.co.uk, and look it up. It is a delight, folks, an absolute delight. And just I mean, just an amazing cast. I don't think Jake and I could say anything more to better highlight the actors that they got to produce this program. Not to knock the original television series and in its time period was...
Oh, no, we're not bashing them at all.
Was really well done for as well as it could be for, let's be honest, a BBC Two production.
I went on there earlier. Because, yeah,
Because,
even a
let's be
stateside can actually look up several of the UK ones. But I went on there and found the entire chapters of Discworld.
Yeah.
I was dying. Because, amusing enough, as a wee young actor, David Tennant got to be part of the Discworld series.
Well, and I think
it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It really does. And that's the thing. The Neverwhere miniseries is going to get crap because everything BBC Two puts out, let's be honest, they do the best they can with
for the
what
budget they have.
I mean, you look at the old Doctor Who's, and you're like, you can crap on the production values all you want.
Piss on all the. You can piss on every set. I suppose you can trash every costume or what have you. But again, this is the money they had. This is what they could work with, and they were creative as hell when it came to coming up with stuff.
The BBC Two has brought us some of the best gems of the what's the word I'm looking for? This particular subculture that we
just television.
Yeah, television in general, but I mean in the sort of fantasy sci-fi.
Good example is C.H. Lewis's work.
Yeah.
Just The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And yes, admittedly, Aslan looked a little animatronic, I'll grant you.
The Silver Chair with Tom Baker again.
As
you saw Muggle Womp or something like that.
You could not help but find certain elements and certain actors that were already part of these franchises. It's the same aspect. One could not throw a rock at an actor that has not been in one of two things of the longest running in British history, which would be Coronation Street and Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Or what you'd more find in this common era, which would be you cannot throw a rock at an English actor who hasn't been in Harry Potter or Doctor Who.
Right.
And some have been interspersed between.
Both, yeah.
Tennant's a good example. Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis is a great example of this. He has been in both. And it's absolutely hilarious going, and yet, here in the States, we forced him into shit like Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have anything for a guy that size. Really? Why don't you crank out some sci-fi fantasy and make him a hobbit? Oh, my God. Where did it come from?
Oh, shoot. But
I know. It just kind of infuriates on some levels. But, I just thought it was absolutely amazing. I did actually find the CD for Neverwhere. I really am geeking out here. This is sad. So I have the book.
Yeah.
I have the radio series. I have watched the miniseries. Oh, hell, I got you the miniseries for Christmas ages ago. We are absolute nerds for Neil Gaiman, and you can't really fault us. Because the man hasn't produced what you would construe as a flop. I actually, I was just reading American Gods earlier.
Which, by the way, did you know is being made into a movie?
Yeah.
Or is it a TV series?
I think they're trying to push it to make it a movie. And honestly, given its medium, given its level of, I would say, a fair degree of darkness, not to mention a morose story.
Dark story.
Not to mention it's a very morose story. The only medium you could do would have to be television. It would have to be a film.
Yes.
Or at the very least...
TV series. They are making it a TV series.
And what are you going to do? It's Showtime?
Stars, actually.
Oh, okay. That works. Hell, if
the people that have put
they're
out
allowed to
Ash
do
and
Ash
Evil
versus
Dead.
Evil Dead, they could pull out just about anything.
And actually, Stars...
How enjoyable was that?
No, Blunt Talk. With,
with Patrick Stewart. Oh, I'm sorry. Sir Patrick Stewart.
Just the
first
opening,
fucking episode.
The first 15 minutes. What was the name of that tranny hooker he picked up? And he was like,
God.
"Oh, you're so delightful."
It was absolutely hilarious. Honestly, you couldn't tell if he actually wanted a hooker or if he just wanted someone to talk to.
He was like, "Could I just suckle on your breast?"
And he starts quoting Shakespeare as he's thrusting his umbrella. I'm just dying.
Oh gosh, Yeah.
The man's addicted to how many different barbiturates and liquor? Oh, God, it was an absolute treat. But yes, this is where England has spoiled us.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're going, okay, we have to aspire to be that great or more.
Which, by the way, American Gods locked in Ian McShane.
Really?
To be in the series.
Makes sense, as no doubt Mr. Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
For those that are completely unaware, I bring you back to this terminology, or perhaps this TV series. It came out on A&E. Lovejoy, ring a bell?
Oh, God, I loved Lovejoy.
It was a fun series.
Ian McShane, though, of course, went on to do...
Deadwood.
Lots of other... He was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
He was.
One of them. I can't remember which one.
I want to say the third, but I'm probably wrong. Well, let's see. Ian McShane, unfortunately, in the revamp of Death Race... Because, sometimes you have to make bills, and sometimes you got to star in something with Jason Statham. It's just the rules.
The man is a great villain, honestly. He was that awful, I can't remember the character, the TV miniseries Pillars of the Earth, which was
I don't remember the character.
Yeah, I believe he was the bishop.
Well, you do have that computer right there. You could cheat.
I could, but... Oh, and don't forget Deadwood, of course.
Yeah, well, I had already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide who actually looked more imposing than that. Powers Booth or Ian McShane. Because honestly, both these guys have a swagger that says, yeah, I'm still in the game, and I will knock you the fuck out.
And the crazy thing is, people don't often realize it, Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, God, yes.
Kung Fu Panda, the main villain of the entire cartoon. Ian McShane.
They were too busy enjoying Jack Black.
Do you know how many people I know that thought that was Jeremy Irons?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, there is some similarity, but not that much.
Not that
Jeremy
much.
Irons is a little more stand-up. And, it's actually... Of course, then he can be a little over-mugging, like, say, for example, such horrible films like Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, God.
Which I'm sure every nerd was thrilled about. I think that should be a separate podcast on its own.
I think we really should, honestly.
Yes! Give me more! Just sounded like he was taking a shit at the time.
Well, I figured the man phoned in his performance on that movie the same way that...
Bruce Payne did just as bad as Dominar.
I was thinking the same way that Tommy Lee Jones phoned in his performance on fucking
Batman Forever.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. But
I gotta be honest. I only had a couple of sheets here, so they're empty.
I was going to say, now that we've kind of moved out of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, which was supposed to be our focus. And
what's that? Are you saying we were rambling on, Shawn? Tripe.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've got the catchphrase in there, folks,
you're
it's
listening
been
to
a real pleasure.
Yeah, we appreciate you letting us ramble on in your ear, letting us in your home.
Letting us into your bathroom. Let's be honest.
Probably,
this is where you secretly listen to us in shame.
Possibly in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're raiding your fridge now. I've gotten into your liquor cabinet.
Honestly, why do you buy the spicy hummus?
Ugh.
The hummus.
Terrible.
All right, enough of that.
Well, folks, thanks again for letting us ramble on, and I'm Jake.
I'm Shawn.
And you have a good one.
Later.